Trying to get used to the new room line center locations. See the solar ground line center? See, it opens up all track interference. You notice that my line center rotations on time frequency code line rotations in position to all levels of your grounds, where I can go from that's what I mean by time code line center across its interference position. This is an extremely complicated class today because we're going to go through time code line centers of all dimensional realms to another computer locations. All right, so you guys have to learn how to travel through vortex line center, come out of your body system, come back and allocate positions to timeline center to its heart recognition line interference, which opens up all track line conditions to its interference location. Okay, so it's important you understand how to vortex. We're going to do that through time frequency codes, and it's all connected to time zones. How to go through the flux capacitor wind channels. What is a wind channel? Well, it's like chimes, it's like you got to come into repetition line centers, tone interference, position locations, coloration line channels, all positions to you, track system locations. Now you guys are calculate modify when you come into all levels of January. January is a whole new concept, whole new level, whole new cycle, whole new dimension, whole new dynamic system to you through calculation line conditions. I've noticed on TikTok too that people are, I never back down to a line conditions or anything to a fight. It's not a fight. It's all about understanding where people are coming from, where they're going, but they don't seem to focus on themselves, right? And the most important thing you have to look at that the only thing we have in life is our smiles and our cries. That's it. That's all we have. We smile and we cry, and everything else is in between, right? Most important to understand position locations. So you have to smile. It makes the world go round and round, right? So just want to bring that to everybody's attention. I never back down from a fight on any level, of any time, of any locations. So it's important to understand these things, right? Because you got to stand up in what you believe in. Once you start to believe in these things, everything comes into focus. There's rotation. So you're going to see me come out of the conceptual line interference. Program line channels, all level rotations, 1 million line center locations, 60 seconds per minute. So you're going to see your general go back in the heart center really quick, very fast. Okay. Now I'm going to center off. Just going to sit for a minute. I'm going to show you what your general can do so you guys can figure out how to do this yourself. So it's all about understanding how to time frequency your codes and put yourself in different structure box line center connections. You have to learn how to travel through the structure lines of time frequencies, coming in a new computer operation to its matrix and conditions, interference to their locations, because you have to learn how to channel your operations, your oppositions, locations, interference, and rotation to its connections. So for all the new viewers out there, just really concentrate on you. That's it. Nothing else, nothing more. Don't worry about everything else. Everything is all taken care of. In the new year track system, it's coming a new calculation modification, graph and interference, new cycle. All right. New revelation line centers coming in rotations, right? So all level connections of the book of the revelations is coming in. High level rotation to its conditions. Whole new year system. So there's a lot going on right now. And the more you understand that, the more you understand the spiritual of its experience, right? Which is now spiritual of its reality, which is no longer an experience. You're coming into more of solar memory, and everybody's going through the heart switches, heart line centers, heart activation system, coming into all levels of surrender. More people are waking up more and more each day in position locations. The activation system to its ground line perception is what they see through their own earth perception, because everybody's in a different divergence of Heinlein center. If you've ever seen the movie Divergent, you understand conditions of what I'm talking about. So understand your space anomaly and track interference to all positions of what you're doing through playing audio interference of consciousness. What is it through its connection? How does it form through all levels of rotation if you don't understand the game of you through its connections? Right? It's most important to understand these things because you are protecting your system every single day of your life. And that's a true understanding when you're up against these things and up against people, especially for the new viewers, especially when you meet people. You want to be prepared. You want to know exactly how to communicate with these people instantly. Read the cycles, read the energy, read the grounds, the clocking system dimensions, the energies, the vortex communication cycles, voice box channels, the Argon line centers. It's complicated, right? I mean, that's all about understanding. You guys are coming into more of your computers. Once you get into your 114, you understand what I'm talking about. You're going to travel really fast in the line rotations. And everything is going to come more into positions and making sense. Sense in all levels of travel, sense in all levels of position you're clocking, sense all levels of why you travel. You travel to what? To bring yourself forward, right? You can travel yourself to go back, right? Now, this is understanding going through time codes, time frequencies, right? Timelines, right? The alignments in understanding position locations, switching on and switching off locations. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to switch on, we're going to switch off through timelines. So we're going to go through dimensional lock interference, time code frequency position locations. Make sure you have your water. It's very important to have your water, right? Don't want anybody pass out or anything at line center. Charging mechanism, timeline, set rotations. I'm the operator, you're the operation, right? So the operator has already set things up. The operation of you has to truly understand what is the operator doing. So it's understanding time codes of what's happening to position locations. When you're structuring location, when you're looking at somebody, can you actually see them travel out of their body in seconds? And then back in the heart center. You have to go back in the heart center because that's the base. And then it starts over to another time clock sequence. Your digital frame goes extremely fast and it changes colorations of time. The clocking center, all positions to the grounds and everything through powers, is recommending you to understand positions of where you calculate and modify through the sun and everything through the moon of its program system. You have to stand the platitudes, you have to stand your vortex, you have to stand your communications when you're traveling through direction of timelines. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today, right? So again, please drink your water. That's the most important thing. Okay. All right. So I'm going to just stand for a minute. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stand here. Okay. Now, I'm going to focus on everything that's going on. You're going to see me come out of 4 line centers. Okay. Here we go. All right. See that? You see how it pixelated, right? Sound barriers, tone line center. I went this way, this way, this way, and this way, and back in center, which is the heart. The heart has to set up what? A new portal, new timeline, new activation, new color, new light. So where's the sun going in locations? Back in the heart system. Okay. So you have to stand the heart of its computer positions. Once you guys get into your 114 track systems, you come into more modified line center. Your birth line center is positions of 144,000 chakras. Now the center rotation is you through calculations coming into more of your life stream. In position to levels when you come into times pi, right? We got in that calculation modification line center in rotation. So we're going to travel through timelines, through dimensional computers to another line communication cycle. It's going to activate everything through core system. I want you to understand how it goes on so many levels of travel direction of time, right? So it's like switching off a light and then switching it back on. How many times can you go? So what happens? It changes the pattern, changes the color, changes the tone, changes the sun, changes the moon in seconds, right? So you have to understand how fast your body is going through digital framing, right? Because it's changing its numbers every sequence through time zones. Its positions to you through your tesseracts. Framing interference to position line conditions is truly understanding all levels. So like it's a hallway of information that's calculated and modified to all level rotation to that conditions, okay? So we're going to travel through direction of timelines. We're going to clock in interference. We're going to go through the ground, the power, the upstairs line center in rotation, all right? So I'll set up the clocking system locations, all right? I'll lock it in frequency to allocate timeline in rotation. Let's go on one center. Let's lock it in, okay? Go into highline rotation line center. Let's lock it in, okay? All right, one more through calculations. Let's lock it in. Now, when you go through these timelines, you have to really understand what is going on with you through your body frame because it changes second per second. Your clocking system is no longer 60 seconds per minute. It is in the physical alignment, but the mining and the time zone of its watch is in different time. Okay. The only thing that stays in the balance line center is youth of the physical of the ground system, not the perception, just the grounds, because I'm standing on the ground. Okay. So this doesn't change. It's the mind that set of time changes. Do you understand? Through the clocking system. Okay, allocated to its timeline. All right. So we're going to go through 3 waving clocking interference in rotations through cycle line conditions. All right. So I'll set up the clocking system to its locations. Different timelines you guys are going to go through. All right. So you have to know what it's like to go on and off through switches. High level is rotation to its conditions. All right. It's going to be fun. All right. So that's 1 clock. All right. So it's interesting to go through this line system. So we're going to go through a regular clock system, which is times 60 seconds, all right, per minute. Okay. You have to really understand how to do these things. All right. You understand that. And the second one is the waving system location. Sun's going to come to allocate timeline center. Here's the sun. Okay. And here's the moon. Tracking interference is going to go into all levels of 1, 2, and 3. Clocking interference. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. All right. Let me go into that position locations. High levels of 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 7, 8, 8, 1, 9, 9, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and then back to 1, 2, 3. So in position, we're going from this calculation, 60 seconds per minute, to high levels where the sun and the moon changes location per second per second. So you're in a 3-digit line center of clocking interference. So that means the mind's going to travel faster. So the clocking and the correlation interference of Z grab or anything position locations at cross reference is going to change your time frames. So we're going to go from 1, 2, all right, to calculation modification line centers. Okay, 1 track. Okay, this is a 2-track and this is a 3-track line center. Okay, location positions. All right, so it's already in 1 equals the calculations to AI position, which is 1, 1, 2. 1 equals 1, 2. Right, 1 equals 12. 1 equals all levels of 10. All right, so it's all about understanding how to go from 1 to 2 to 3 tracks in time zone interference. Now, once you get into that positions, the sun goes into higher level rotation to its conditions, right? And you go into 4. So let's just go into 4 digits. Okay, I'm not going to go around the clock, but it's already set in line center. Codes is already set at 24 sequence line rotations. So you got 1, 2, and 3 track interference, okay? You guys are going to go through different timelines. You're going to start off with 60 seconds per second, right? Per minute location. Then you're going to go into the second track, okay? And then you're going to go into the third track, which is the 4-digit line center, the clocking interference. You have to learn how to travel through 3 clocking centers, the grounds, powers, the atmospheres of view through calculations, so you can understand the 7 bodies of water and how fast it travels through its position. Okay? All right. So it's allocated position timeline center, and it's going to be at the same clocking connection, the same time, right? So in position, well, let's put it at 10:30, all right? 10:30 to track system. Okay, we got the point center, point center, point center, travel direction of timeline center. Okay, so we got 10, the low hand is the sun. Okay, and we got 10:30. Okay, 10:30. All right, so all position locations comes in calculation, modifies its line center and its interference. So the dimensional goes fast and faster through its rotation. The sun goes fast at all positions, and everything through the moon goes faster to its low conditions in its flux capacitor interference channel. It operates all position locations to all levels of view, right? From the grounds, okay, to your powers, which is the seat of the soul, which is the mothership. You have to understand the mothership of you to the motherboard, communication interference. So in rotation, you have to learn how to go through 60 seconds per minute, leaving the quadrant fields, and then going into the second track to the third track of 4 digit line center through its clocking system. Now this is where it gets confusing through its locations, right? All right. So travel direction of timeline centers, 3 calculation, modification, and interference positions to the galactic forces, the GFLs, and everything through the rebellion. Set their waving system to allocated positions of 1 track system, 2 track system, 3 position locations, 4 digit line center to their clocking interference. Colorate their patterns, interference, computer line rotations, put them allocated positions of the 7 body waters of track systems. Get them in confirmation to its communication, get them into highline centers to their avatar position locations to its new timeline of dimensional line rotation, right? Done through equation, right? Half an hour, have fun. So it's amazing how you go through flux capacitors through all levels of 60 seconds per minute, 1 track, 2 track, 3 track through a 4-digit line center. Travel the direction at the same time, just going faster, right? So this is all about going through different timelines, but at the same time sequence, but different code frequencies to its new computer system, right? So 30 minutes, have fun. Clocking confusion, right? You have to know what it's like to go through 3 timelines on 3 different track systems, 1, 2, and 3. 3 all level systems of digital framing positions to the same timeline center. Okay. Okay, so let's see how everybody's doing here. I want to get this out very quickly. We've got a busy year coming. All right, Tina, how's it going? Tina, your roller blades are back to normal. Lotus, how's it going? Samantha, how you doing? Commander. Yeah, I will be going live on TikTok. I was just spending time with Amelia, getting things set up for you guys for the next day. Karen, how's it going? Lieutenant Dustin, how you doing? You guys doing well? If you guys are off center, you have to really understand your clocking centers now. But I just want to show you how powerful it is to actually travel through 3 different timelines at the same time sequence, but different levels of acceleration. Pretty wild, right? Times pi. All right. Don't worry, that's not going to be on the test. You can just... All right. Holy whoosh, Batman. That's funny. All right, golden line star triangle formation in my heart center. Yeah, Lotus came into my heart center because you have to understand, why does your heart beat? Why does it? What do you think that is? It's a pacemaker. It's a time code. It's a time lock. It's a dimensional setting. It's a clocking system to allocate positions at all levels of travel. Okay, so you guys have to be aware of these things. All right, let's see now. Okay, line center rotation. All right. It's great to see everybody, especially new viewers. You have any questions or comments, let me know. Okay. Extracted, where am I going, team? Okay, so this is about understanding 24-hour sequence line centers given to you, graph interference. So you're given a piece of paper through allocated timeline center, all positions of Vega. Right? You have to get in your clocking systems of the grounds, the power, and the atmospheres at this same timeline center, but different dimensions of computers. Okay, so it's amazing how you can go through all levels of track system, 1, 2, and 3 through digital framing, guys. You're all going through the timelines, but at the same time, but different speeds, all at once. Okay? You have to know what it feels like to actually travel through vortex line center. Right? So in position, your dimensional line centers across wind, right? Northwest, south, and east. So you go fast here, slow here, medium here, high there. It all depends on how fast you are through timeline center. So you have to understand your clocking system when you travel through direction of timelines. Yeah. Veronica, how's it going? Bring genetic communication interference and highline center, put her in a clocking center rotations to the team, allocates her position timelines to its clocking system, to its ground information system. There you go. Janet, you're in. All right, sun is not in line center, but allocate position of timing. Lock it in its interference, so it's clocking interference channel, put in the communications of high levels of the alliance of the team line conditions. There you go, son. You're in. All right. Lock channel interference positions. Take the pinch out of communication line centers of Tina. Clocking centers way too fast to rotations. Change of nature locks interference position. Put her on the ground back into rotation line center. In position to calculation modify its line system. Allocate position timelines. Change the wire of interference into rotations of the shoulder blade. Allocate position of timeline in rotations. Calculation modified to all levels of the cell generation light center to its clocking system. All right, so there you go, Tina. Pinch is gone. So you were clocking too fast, the rotation. I see Tron on all clocking systems. Very cool, Commander. The third is a spiritual. Wow, is it cool? Each clock is connected to the other and all have to be working together to work. Very good, Commander. That's exactly what it is. So you understand why the clocking system, each dimensional line center has to be in the same position, right? But different acceleration mocking line center. That puts you in a higher force position here times codes and times pi times square. Okay? So, okay, teleport Veronica in positions to clocking interference position, ground line center. It's all levels of the alliance of the galactic forces, the GFLs, and the rebellion. Put her in the allocated position timeline. Lock in its interference. All right, there you go, Veronica. All right, I think this is how I see where this issue is. And that's a true understanding why you guys get locked out of dimension line centers. Your clocking center is off. If you're in a clocking interference line condition to a channel rotation to its interference location, you're not channeling to the right direction. All your clocking system to the ground's power of the adversaries has to be at the same time. Makes sense, right? You can't have a coloration line center if it's tracking interference and negative line rotation. You can't have a ground rotation interference or crack the surface to all levels of your anti-gravity suits. Anti-gravity suit is your plasma area line center. It's connected to your Merkabahs, your tesseract, and your tetrahedron, which protects you through its light signals, guys. That's the most important you have to understand to that conditions, all right? All right, so that's the most important when you come into clocking center. But it's amazing how you travel through all levels of 1, 2, and 3 track systems through the same clocking center of its position. All right? Yeah. Yeah, the clocks are long, not circular. Very good, Andrew. It's exactly what it is. But the clocking system to the ground that powers the atmospheres has to be at the same level of time. Okay, you can't be allocated position of the mind line center into the future of time, which is the now position, and have the grounds in the past of time, and everything through the conception of your mothership is in the high level of the present of time. You're confusing your operation centers, guys. It's getting even more confusing through time frequencies. Mocking interference to position location, acceleration to timeline systems, okay? Linear connections to speed line interference in rotation to its position, right? So clocking is very important. So being shown the clock runs along my meridians. Wow. And it goes extremely fast, but it's in the same timeline center, but just different computers of time sequence. Pretty wild. All right, seen a rainbow of green, blue, rising interlooped, rising yet. They're rising behind me. I don't like they're strictly going beyond me input. Yeah, that's just input line center. Just let it go through flow direction of timeline center. Your clocking interference is heart palpitating too quickly there, Jenna. Bring line centers in rotation positions. Put all level positions back in communications. Put her in the force line center position line conditions. Get her in reference to all levels of what she sees through behind, but put her in the input line center to its connection. So there you go, Jenna. Okay, clocking is very important, guys. I said that, and I'll keep saying that over and over and over. All right, psychic babes and line center, put her in time frequency code position locations, digital frame line center, change your binary codes, Change the conceptual interference position to program and setting to all levels of its alliance. Put in the clocking center rotations to its position of 1, 2, and 3 track system. Digital code center to its location. We got Lavanda. Galaxy Cat. So psychic babes are in through line center. I really, guys, want you to understand these things because it's important to really know who you are through your own clock. Why do you have a watch? Do tell time. Yes, but it's time traveling. I sent you guys a very powerful video on time sequences and how it's allocated position all levels of you. And that was December 19th. Okay, all positions of 2019. That was 2 years ago. Feliz Navidad at Christmas. But it's amazing how I time traveled in the past, but I present it to you in the presence of the now, which is happening, right? So everything I do, you think it's the past, but it's not. To me, it's the now, right? That's the confusion you guys are having. So you have to stay in your clocking when you're time traveling every single time you're on YouTube, right? Everything I give you is in chronological order, okay? So don't get confused on that through timelines, right? It's just understanding that all your clocking system has to be in balanced sequence, right? And then you understand, whoa, wow, my watch is a time traveler. It is a teleportation device. It not just tells time, right? It tells travel through you of time, right? So, all right, being shown how from one clock, I can jump to another and ride the meridian wave. Cool. Yep. Wild. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, you know, that was 2 years ago. To you, it's the past. To me, it's the now. So I present it to you to the now position, which is happening. It's confusing, right? Because it was 2 years ago. But what you don't understand, that everything I give you is the now of its presence, not its past. You see it as a past because you're still in the physical of 60 seconds per minute. You have to learn how to travel through vortex positions and understand your clocking system is always the now, which never changes. Okay? So, very powerful. All chakras cleared, balanced, layered, centered spectrum, my heart, inner eye, grounding into a rainbow spectrum of all three clocking lines, centers, Merkabah, sequences, spinning, location, color. So he's getting better information there. Locus is understanding more position, location to his clocking system, right? So it's all position of you. You understand how to go through timelines. This will give you a better way how you can get in your past, present, and futures come into one clock system, okay? Because it's 3 clocks you're working with. It's 3 clocks you're working with, the ground, the powers, and the atmospheres. Now, what is that when you put that all together? What's 3 plus 3? 6. What is 6? The moon. Tracking interference line and position locations. Now, let's go from that position location to 6 times square times pi. Calculation modifications to E equals MC square. All right, so it modifies all level of rotation to its conditions, right? High positioning to the levels when you get allocated positions to timelines and all allocated lines center. So you got 1 panel. Let's go rotation. Calculation modification line system. 1 panel, 2 panel, 3 panels. All right. So you got 1 clock system. You got another clock system and another clock system rotations. 3 clocking centers, right? Coming in a full rotation cycle to its location. High positions, all levels, right? Tracking system. So you got 1 track, 2 track, 3 track. Those are 3 track line center rotations. You guys are traveling back and forth through the same clocking center to its line connections, all positioned to you through track system, to its flux capacitor of its high channel line center to its rotation interference. In rotation to its positions comes into all weathers of north, west, east, and south. Okay? So it's all done through codes, right? All through your levels of your position and what you're doing with weather. Weather is very important. Understanding flux capacitor interference channels comes into high levels of your flux capacitor channels. Location interference, right? In position, north wind cycles. You got into west wind cycles, east wind cycles, south wind cycles, location interference position locations. And you are in the center of operation to its calculation. That is you. Nothing but electrical wire of time code frequency. You are in the center of operation to all levels of position to your diamond core line center to northwest, south, and east through your travels of past, present, and future. Yes. All through 3 panel line centers of 3 clocking systems of grounds, powers, and the atmospheres of past, present, and future into one cycle of one communication to one clocking system to one dimensional line center, which puts everybody in the now connection. Okay? Hooah. So, very powerful when you get in those channels. It's amazing how it tracks the system line interference, guys. So, how's everybody feel about that so far? Pretty wild stuff, eh? Okay. All right. Oh, Christopher, how you doing? Yeah, see what happens when you guys are late? You're never really late. You're just not on time. Okay, so put Christopher in position in the clocking center. Get him in the ground line rotation to its alliance. The galactic forces, everything, the GFLs, and rebellion. Put him in his clocking center locations. Allocate his position of timelines into locking interference positions to 1 track, 2 track, 3 track system. There you go. Christopher's in position, location, clocking center. All right, so we got in that line center rotation and calculation. But you have to understand all levels of you through your divergence of your past, present, and future, and coming into one clocking system, north, west, south, and east, to all levels of 3 panel interference to its clocking system. Pretty wild, eh? So this is how you have to start seeing yourself. Nothing but electrical wire of an avatar. How to travel through all levels of wire. Right? You guys all know and understand how to calculate, position, location, how to travel with your phones, your computers, and everything through your line conditions, right? So it's all done through clocking system. So pretty wild stuff, isn't it? All right. So this helps you out too with your own time zones. Sometimes you're 3 hours behind, 3 hours ahead, 6 hours ahead, 12 hours ahead. It all depends on your time zones. You're using that to physical line center, but you have to understand when you're avatar, you're all in position of all timelines. Okay. And you have to learn how to use your clocking centers to northwest, south, and east, right? To weather patterns. So it's very wild, isn't it? Tornado is the clocking system. And yeah, I see all the balancing of direction and weathers are balanced in one new golden heart clock. Okay. Yeah. So the Tin Man does have a heart. All right. I kept checking in and gave up. Didn't see any time listed either. And notifications just basically change your settings, right? But I go live every single day, right? Even if I'm on TikTok, I tell you exactly when I'm going to be on. So I keep checking, yeah. So basically, Christopher, get more into communication and voice grid line center. Remember, your body is changing clocking centers. Your pixel activation is changing the ground system to its positions, okay? So this is how it works, guys. You get it every morning, right? You're in a new identification of clock, of time. You have to learn how to use your identification codes to communicate to your phones because your phone is set in different sequences of clocking system, okay? So you have 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. This is my phone, right? But what you have to understand, it's a computer of its own clocking system, and it changes every second per second per second per second. So you have to learn how to channel your voice box system and know exactly where the coloration of timeline center is and location, okay? Because it's given different identification codes. It's all through your binaries, right? You check your bar graphs, communication interference, and rotation to its system. Now, it's extremely complicated for the new viewers. I don't expect you to understand, especially when we're going to the time codes and timelines. It's very complicated. But if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I can set up a new video for you guys between 2 and 4 for the new viewers, just to understand more your positions and how you go through levels of vortex communications. Right? You start off with shapes of 3, 6, and 9, but you have to learn how to travel through all different platforms simultaneously in one position location. Right? Picking up data, processing uplinks and downloads and upgrading systems in a flash of an eye, blink of an eye, calculations of an eye. correlations of an eye. Okay, going so fast, you know exactly what you're doing every second per second per second. You're traveling through direction of timelines, right? Through clocking rotations, right? So the grounds, the powers, the atmospheres, and everything of the past, present, and future are what? Are into one position of one clocking system. Okay? So, all right. Entering the plasma golden eye. Yep, center, holographic, overstanding all the time, conclusive to new present holographic moment to new center of the heart, excited geometry, patterns received, needed information. Very good, Lotus. That's exactly what you need to hear, right? Does anybody else notice since we started doing this, time seems to stand still for us now? Yeah, it's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. What do you think I do at the very beginning? Time stands still. I sat there for a minute to understand what I'm doing. Okay, it's not just me sitting here and you looking at me. It's me changing time. It's me holding time. Okay, so I can stop space, I can stop time, and I can slow down time. I can speed up time, and I can change the accelerations of time, all through ground position locations to its clocking system. So in position, space-time creator is everything through time, right? Which is the now. So once you center your position in the mind line, center rotation, you know how a lot fast you're traveling, you can travel into a million years in the future into one clock system of locations. But the ground, the powers, the atmospheres have to be in the same coloration line center channels. You can't be in two different variations of thoughts. It's too confusing to high line center when you're going too fast to high position location of the track system. It won't understand the calculations or anything through operation system, guys. Okay. So every morning is a fresh timeline. Very good, Commander. It's exactly what it is. I find the time moves as need now to, yeah, exactly. Yeah, time does definitely stand still. And that's exactly what I did at the very beginning. I did that for a minute, clocking system. But how fast was I going? How fast was I going? So this is all done through what? Understanding the grounds of clocking, you through the powers of clocking, and you through the atmospheres of clocking, right? All in sequence through your diamond core line center and rotations. Puts you in the center operation of its conditions, guys. That's how powerful it is. All of that line system. Right? 0 point. Yep. 0 point is where we all started. The first energy. Yep. That's exactly what it is. Mach speed and then standing still. Linear speed. Yeah, it's like when you go, you know, you stand there and, you know. So it's very confusing when you're traveling through the mind. The only thing you have to understand is set the grounds with you, which is a physical, knowing the grounds of the clock system. Okay. So this is where it gets really interesting. Okay. So the clocking system, let's say it's basically, it's 10 to 11. All right. Now 10 to 11 a.m. on the ground system. My physical line stays me in the ground. Okay. But my perception through my mind system is also at the same time. Same with my power connectors. So it's all in that same line connections, but different speed. Okay. Different speed of the grounds, different speed of your powers. And this is where it gets complicated because you go through the inner and the audio track or audio to the inner track. You go left, right, right, left. So you have to learn how to go back and forth. Once that you start off from the inner and outer, everything becomes outer, inner, 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 outer, right? It all positions you through calculations, but everything has to have an inner and outer track system locations, all through your eyes, your ears, and your voice grid center. Okay. So it all depends on fashion you're traveling. Yeah, you're welcome, Commander. Mach speed indeed, yes. Zip zap ding dong, yeah. This will give you a better understanding how you can manifest your things on time clock system, have it stand still. So this is where it's interesting, where basically you control your body fully, completely through space, and you can just set it sitting there until you finish your drawing in the imagination system. Okay, that's what I do, nothing but imagination. Okay, so imagination is everything, but it's all connected to what? Your clocking system. Okay, without a clock, you can't travel. It's that simple. You just have to understand all calculations of what's going on. right? Countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off, right? So you have to check everything. You have to check all levels of you, your dynamics of you, your colorations of you, your lights of you, your travels of you, your direction of times of you, right? Your modulations, right? Your motion sensors, communication interference, program line center, your computer operation system. It's all positioned to you before you travel through these things. Every day is a different day, right? So this is where it gets really complicated, where you can actually change the grounds of time, where you can change the powers of time and everything through the atmospheres of time. But you guys aren't at that level yet until you understand travel through your own clocks. Okay. Once we go into that positions, then you can learn how to travel more through light and fast speed line systems. See that? See that? See how fast that's going? See? See, you can't see my fingers, right? My tip of my fingers. See how fast I'm traveling? So it's understanding where the fingers are traveling. Everything through the moon, everything through all communications of the sun, right? Allocate timeline center, right? It's going from this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. This is what it's doing every single day. But now it's coming into full rotation spin. So the clocking system is going to put everybody in the heartline center to its atom, which is fantastic. And that's what we want. That's a new cycle rotations. That's going to put you guys into allocate line center, 30-dimensional line rotations conscious level system. The super of its consciousness is going to put it into its ATROC system location. Full communication line center to your avatar line system rotations. Okay, so it's something to look forward to in the new year. All right, let's see. Simultaneously and parallel timelines at once. Received any of fragment fractures, heartbeats as your attitude, consciousness and balance is 0 point. All potential peaceful harmonics, rainbow spectrum, each heartbeat of my heart. Yeah. So Lotus, try to get more into you. You're still structuring. I'm trying to help you out here. So it's kind of like you're just getting information, which is all position of you, but you have to get more into the loving system. Like I received, right? I received all position locations of fragmentation fractures that's connected to the heartbeats. It's in gratitude line interference to its conscious level system. The balance end connection is at 0 point line center. It has its potential, but it's all position locations of its peaceful, and it's coming into its harmonics of its rainbow spectrum lights, which is changing my particle line center to its heartbeats of its location. See? Flow, 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 flow. So I just added instead of structure. So you got to get out of the structure and let things flow. Let it flow. Be you. Don't be the structure of you. Just be you. Be the reckoners of time, right? Which is the now. So try to stay out of, you start off with the structures. Yes, you do that. Same thing with commercials. You have to have structure, but you have to learn how to get out of the structure. Okay, it's like reading pages off a book, you know, because the director prefers that, you being off book, right? Especially when you do code reads. I do that all the time when I'm acting. So it's mostly understanding that it's coming from you. The visualization is coming from you, from the heart. Okay, it's not just location centers and position. It's activating to that line center. See, it's hard for me to do structure because I do too much flow. I flow through direction of timelines all through my clocking system. So if I want to change my ground line center, I can. If I want to change my powers, I can. If I want to change my atmospheres, I can. If I want to change my timelines, I can. If I want to change my correlation position locations of a high level system, my computer operation line centers, I can. Very instantly, very fast, right? So you have to come into the flow of your own clock system, of your thoughts. Stay in your structures, get out of your structures, and come into the flow and recognition of time. Okay? So, yeah, I'm just trying to help you out, Lotus, so you can just, when you're getting your information, which is given to you, obviously, try to get more information on how you feel rather than just being like, you know, a mechanic, you know, because mechanics do, I do not compute, I don't understand. Air. So I can't change your timelines, but I can add your timelines. You guys are in your own spiritual growth. Your activity centers, location interference, everything through your clocking center has to truly understand you, all levels of Buddha and Dalai Lama. Communication cycles to Agna, mentor line interference, position locations, birth line centers, the connections of the pharaohs and the meridians, and how you guys became the meridian to its connections. All right? So, all right. Okay, let's see. I see how the fragment timelines come into formations of heart line center, balancing and adjusting my pacemaker. Very good. Man, I'm balancing all chakras and imbalancing in my body. Feels light as feather. My heart is now connected to the flow of time. Very good. See, now you understand position of flow of time. Now you guys are in that positions where you stay in your clocking centers, the ground powers and the atmospheres, the past, present, and future. But now you have to learn how to change your grounds, change your powers, change your atmospheres, because you're going to be going to what? Different timelines. So you'll be able to go back in time. And the only way to do that is to understand the different positions of grounds and the powers of you through its atmosphere of time. Okay. So you start off the same clocking center. Okay. The balanced position locations. To understand communication is really understand your telepathy line centers to how positions to the sun and everything through the moon. Okay. Because you're getting information every single day, 24 hours, 7 days a week. So the body has to understand what? You through calculations and what you're doing inside. Okay. This is not math. This is travel. Okay. So don't get completely confused on any level of that sequence. It's just getting balance with you through flowing recognition. You start with the structures and then you get out of the structure and then you get into the flowing recognition of time. Okay. So, all right. Let's see. Now I know how to change my timelines. I just synced up my clocks in respect to the sun and the moon. There you go. See? That's exactly what it is, right? How to change your own clocking system, right? Colorations of the sun, right? Or taking all levels of the moonbeam track systems to your human resonance. How to change the vibration and its body graph system. How to change the picture activation core line center to its own clocking system, putting you into the simulation, right? So humanity has to come into the singularity of its matrix. Okay, so let's see how to travel to balance with the sun and the moon is amazing. Yeah, but see, that's the thing, because the sun is you and everything position location is the moon. So sun is father and the moon is mother. We already know that track system line conditions, right? Just seeing what's happening in the travel, it's cool. Flowing is very wild. Yes, it is. Flowing records of timelines. Same with Tai Chi. Everything has to flow. Everything has to flow in direction, not in the opposite direction. You can go in the opposite directions, but you have to stand the clocking system of weather, right? Because you're going from this way, you're directing and redirecting, directing, redirecting, directing, redirecting, right? So you have to stand, this is different clocking, this is different clocking. Weather has different clocking. Galaxies have different clocking. Atoms have different clocking. Your computer has different clocking. You have to understand these things. It's flowing recognition of you through time, okay? So, yeah, so it's all about balancing out everything, your energies and frequencies, right? And all positions of you through your vibration and your harmonic resistance. We'll get into harmonic resistance, but not right now. You guys aren't ready at that level. So what you are ready with is to understand your positions, how to go through your grounds, your powers, and the atmospheres of the same clocking system. We'll go into that positions, right? Once you get better and better and better through the mind system, more adaptation, more balanced position, the synchronicity and interference position locations will open up all track systems of the mind, going faster, 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 faster through its clocking system. Then we can go into changing the grounds, the powers, and the atmospheres of time. That means you can go in your navigations and go into your own UFOs in your own flight navigation system, right? And how to Z-cross interference, how to Z-graph its line center, how to go into the hieroglyphics of mountains, how to communicate in center rotations of pyramids, how to activate core line centers, all levels of your placebo cortex positions, how to go through the spine line interference, how to go through trap interference line conditions, all position of planets intelligence, how to set up security defense line position locations, tracking interference position line conditions, GPS tracking interference line conditions, all positions to you, to calculation. So, all right, so I know it keeps getting better, right? I hear you echo of the travel through space time right now, and as if you were close to me. See, the thing is, too, you guys will get more information of your own clocking center, and you guys will see each other more in clarity. And that's what you want. right? You actually want to see yourself, actually you together through its alignment, but you're in different timelines of speed, right? So if you want to be on the same timeline, you have to understand each other's clocks pretty well, right? There's no space between us, sister. We're all one, always together. Yeah. That's resonant to its position to all levels of you through calculation. And I keep saying calculation because you have to calculate what is E equals mc squared. Mass calculation. Mass is volume. Okay? The acceleration, anything through velocity is speed through acceleration of Maching line conditions. To understand how to use the energy of form, what you are in position of your intent, the will, the force, everything through creation to its location, right? 5 within the system, 6 within the activation, 7 within the body of light. See, that's light. See how powerful that is? See how it creates a shape? See that? See? Looks like a rocket. See? See the tip? See? Everything is clocking of intelligence through coloration. See the structure. So this is all through what? Through you, right? Through harmonic resistance. And that's how it becomes, looks like a rocket, right? So you have to really understand how to use frequency interference or anything lacing lines. See that? See how I touch that? See the lacing lines? See the realms? Right? Nothing but a matrix, right? You touch it. So when you touch it, your clocks and finger points are in digital framing. So basically my fingers can travel 1 million lines per second, 2 million lines per second, 3 or 4 or 5. It all depends on where it wants to travel through light. See that? See how I changed that? See that now? See that strip line? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Strip line center. See how it creates everything through structure? All through a blind. As soon as you move it, look at that. Look what it does. See? Just doing that. Just doing that. Just with the finger. See that? See how it changes? See that? See what happens? It communicates. That's harmonic resistance. When weather comes in, it comes in very, very fast. So you have to change the digital line center to all levels of the blind, right? It's all sequences of light and dark. See, light and dark. See, light and dark. Strips lines of light and dark. That's the Trinity standard, how you resonate line centers, all positions to its conditions. All through light, right? So you have to learn. You guys are under the basic understanding how to travel through light, but you have to understand the clocking systems of light and how powerful it is just to go through your finger points through electronic interference. So it's a lot to learn, eh? Received information recalibrating off page is gratitude and energy flow of my heart beats center now feeling now balance and infinite healing gratitude consciousness moving forward. That's good. So that's a little bit better. That's less structure, Lotus. Just try to get more into the flow of your heart. Like, how do you really feel? So try to go off book rather than just getting information that's given to you. Right? I mean, books are really great to read on entertainment levels. They were put in certain level, position, location of structure. Everything through a book has a structure, but when you're traveling through your avatar, you can't have any structure, okay? Because it confuses the sun and it confuses you through the moon. So it has to come from you through the heart, because your heart is the base. Your heart is its computer, and the mind has to understand the storage of its facility, which is its cloud interface. The communications at all levels is its application center. It stores its information of solar memory in position to its own clocking system. Okay? So, all right. It was cool though. I heard you zip right by me. I knew it was you. I now feel you in the grid system and where you all are. See? And that's what you want. You want to not just feel everything that's going on, but you want to be aware of what's going on. Okay? That's a true understanding where you guys are all at once. So we can use the sun and the moon and earth through clock numbers of each clock, planet shapes through frequencies, colors, and see all timelines of the frequency. Yes, Samantha. It's exactly what it is. Yeah. The faster you go, the more you see. The more you get balanced with you, right? It's you. It's nothing else. It's just you. But you have to understand you through the clockings of the ground, the powers, and the atmospheres of you. That's all. Okay, so if you understand that, you understand the clocking system of nature and how fast it's going. You can see it through perception. You can actually see the clocking system of nature. Grounds has a clocking system. Light has a clocking system. You have a clocking system. You have to learn how to balance these out when you're traveling through acceleration. All right. I'm here. Close my eyes for a few minutes. Okay, so amazing. Flex, make sure you drink your water, guys. Okay, I see how the lines come down for each clocking now in real space time. Super cool. Over Christmas, I was playing a crystal singing ball. I literally saw all the reality peel away, and I saw the past falls into the coding the matrix. Yeah, exactly. There, psychic babes. When you get in position line centers, you come into more digital coding, where you come into more levels of the alpha waves, mega, micro, macro connections, all positions of deltas, thetas, and betas. Understanding sounds of tones like and there's high pitched ones like just keeps going, right? So there's all different waves. This is a wave. See, this is just a wave. See how it changes and travels? See, that's communication. That's communication, right? That's harmonic resistance times pi, right? You don't realize how fast it's going until you understand your communications to your clocking, all through light. Okay? So it's miraculous when you come to the higher position of travel through the mind system locations. All right. I feel the one right now, and most of the team. It's beautiful. My heart is blown open. I feel so much love with you. Yeah. And that's what you guys come into, more sequences of you through calculation, more in resonance pattern, more in the love of each other, because you start remembering you and everybody else to that position. Right? It's very powerful when you come more into the heart, but you have to understand the base of the heart and what it is. What is the heart? It's a computer. Understand how to control it is another thing, right? Because you got your pixels, your activations, your particles, and your cells. You have to learn how to use it all inside line center positions to its clocking system location. All done through your geometrics, your sacred geometry of you, right? Program interference position to all levels of you through operation. All right. So, all right. It's a lot of fun, eh? How incredible. Vibration is magical. Yes, it is. I feel like I'm going to cry happy tears. This is what I feel to be. But see, that's exactly what it is. When you come more into the heart, it just blooms, and you start crying more and more, and then you realize why you're crying, and then you stay in that position. Because every time I travel, you guys, you go through upgrades. So now your upgrades or your clocking is in better connection, right? Especially when you travel. Because the thing is, let's just say your mind, okay, is not the equivalent line center positions to its heart. So the heart is going faster, but the mind is going slower. Okay, what do you think will happen? What will happen? Sonic waves, interference, channel disposition off system, allocate positions, viruses, computer offline connections, satellites rotations off system, off the grid, right? In rotation. So it's mostly important to understand the mind, the body, heart, and soul into one. Okay? So the more you travel, the more you realize the body is just a conception of you through frequencies of time, which is just an experience. Okay, so the reality that you live is nothing but dimensional of time, which is your light of travel through its atom. Okay, so all right. You have to help humanity to see this, they understand it. Well, see, that's the thing, Psychic Babe. That's why I have my school, so so they understand that, but they have to start off, at the very bottom and work their way up, just like everybody else does. Okay, it's too confusing. I'm not going to allocate position, change a program line center, digital frame position, clocking line interference, position of sun, everything in flux capacitor, channel locations of 50 communication cycles if they don't understand the 20 position of clock system locations. Right? You guys all start off with your 7, which is 5, which is 12. The 12 strands, we got into that, but you guys are out of that positions. You guys are high leveling now to all position to your clocking centers. Getting to understand communications. Oh, I understand the clocking system of an H now. I understand the grounds of position of the clock. I understand the atmospheres of clocking. It's all done through your weather, right? Because you are creating what you've already created, which is now not just its creation, but the creating is its presence, which is more powerful, right? Because you're living that every single day. You're living that every single day. So when the mind sequences and the communications of its interface and its channels and the lacing line interference comes into one position, one location, one activation, one coloration, one light, one travel of time, of space, then you have full balance of communications to its alignments. Okay? So, all right. I keep seeing this as the past couple of days, the heart reactor with the grid I drew. Also seeing inside of the cube heart, there's more lines on the walls of the inside. Everything is inside position there, Samantha. So the more you understand the track interference, you come into your line conditions because you're the compass healer. So that compass healer has to stand its position locations. So once you understand you through all compass levels, you can start healing others through their heart reactor. You have to understand what the compass healer is and what it does to its track system, but it's all done through its clocking system, right? Because everything in life is travel. We understand that, right? Energy travels to where? A clocking system to somebody else. So not only you have to understand their timelines, but you have to understand their energies. Where are they in their thoughts? Where are they right now? Are they in the past? Are they present? Or in the future of thought, direction of time? Where are they, right? So you have to learn how to change their own clock system. Remember I was telling you about the digital code of its space? If 12 is over here, 1 is over here, and basically 6 is over here, you have to put it all back in position locations, right? Before you go into flow and direction of time. That's the problem with humanity is they don't understand the clocking of space connection, right? And it's all done through light, okay? Because you're dimensional beings, right? The more you understand that, the more you study that, the more you become that, the more you are that, right? So it's fascinating when you get into that, right? All right. Feeling, pulsating, heartbeats in each finger, rainbow spectrum of peaceful harmonies, sequencing my heart, locations, now being the secret geometry ascension. So when you guys get into high formation of clock centers, when you communicate with your hands, you understand each finger has different harmonic resistance line center. So each finger has different tone, different intelligence, different timelines, different calculation, different modifications. Modulation centers and motion sensor interference, electronic interference locations, all levels, barcraft conditions. So each finger represents a different timeline of intelligence. That's why it's so powerful. Okay. You have 8 in central line center, 2 in locations of the moon, and 2 diaptation circle locations to the sun. Okay. So that's the true understanding. You come into calculations, right? Times pi, times square. What is times pi? What is times square? I really want you to understand how to use this when you're traveling through time. Okay. So, and this will put you in a better understanding how, oh, I just vortexed timeline center. Well, what's a timeline center? What's a vortex? A lot of people don't know what vortex means. You have to learn how to travel through your own shapes. And this is all done through 3, 6, and 9, guys. Right? So you have to know times pi times square. Calculations, modifiers, all level rotation to you through ground systems, right? Pulsars, pulsating, okay, sonars in position location, solar flares, very powerful, right? So when you see a solar flare, you understand the clocking of its system through its light. It's all in different colors of activation to its core system. It's amazing when you see these things through the sacred geometry system of you through calculation. So, All right. All right, let's see here. I keep seeing the pass. So we got into that positions there, Samantha. So, all right. Today's travel is showing me exactly what I wrote. Drew a couple days. Yeah, and thing is too, you get in sequence interference when you get into more drawings or Smith, you know exactly what you're drawing and what day it is you drew it. That puts you in positions of its past, but it puts you in a better positions of why you drew it in its presence of its future. And then you put everything in chronological order once you have all your videos set up. Then you know exactly which one to give to humanity in the clocking system to its time position. Okay? So Samantha, Compass, Ceiling, Queen. You have to understand your powers, guys. And that's all done through position. If you don't understand your powers, how are you going to stand anything through your line system if you don't understand yours? Right? Especially when you're trying to heal others. If you don't know your clocking system, how can you heal others? Because you're going into their body line center all through their clock system. Where are they? Right? They could be messed up on so many levels of the past. They could be trapped in the matrix. How are you going to get them out? They have their own clocking system, right? So the ground, the powers, and the atmospheres, and everything positions of the heart, the mind, the body, and the soul has to be in sequence of the now before you heal these people. It's not easy. You think it's easy, but it's not. This is not healing. Okay? This is separating and putting you back to where you're supposed to be. Okay? It's all done psychological, guys. Remember that. Is it possible that I'm getting downloads to build something? Is it schematics or something? I'm being told this truth right now is unable humans to see. Yep, that's exactly what it is. You're given what you're given there. Okay, that's the Trinity stem when you come into all levels of schematics or anything in position. Diagram line center is given to you through calculations. So once you put this all together, you know which one to piece. You're putting the puzzles together. You're putting the pieces, right, to its clocking system. So you can give back humanity exactly what they need to know. Okay? Like example, what I did when I went time traveler, right? Different hair, different look, different place, different location, different time, different age. But it presented to you to the now of timeline. Okay? And that was 2 years ago, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Time traveling is very, very real. Okay, when you're going into the past. So you have to learn how to put these things in chronological order. That's all. And it's all stored in the cloud interface to its rotation. So it's something to really look into, you know, when you get balance of that conditions. So feeling the divine love and blissful gratitude. Yeah. So cool. I've been remembering a lot about the clocking compass healing lately. And the thing is, too, when you guys are calculating and you're giving things back to humanity on TikTok or anything you're doing through platforms or YouTube, whatever, you're communicating through what? Your thoughts. Your thoughts are traveling through what? Clock. Right? So remember, you're collecting data from different positions of planets, but you have to do it simultaneously in one compilation to one center line center. You can't go from one planet to another planet to another planet and get too confused. You just got to go, right? Set, ready to go, right? So everything that you do and voice is in order, okay? So solar flares are directly related to us. Yes, they are. Yes, solar flares are directed to you. Yes, very informative to locations. So excited about this. Yeah. Donna, how you doing? Center of my heart resonance resonates throughout my entire body. All my light body is smiling. Heart smiles, rotating, emitting from my heartbeat, fingertips, and deep center gratitude. Yeah. Yeah. So we all have to try to get more into flow, eh? Get out of the structures. Okay. I know it's mind blowing, isn't it? Everything I do every day, it's like I'm awake. I understand, or I don't understand. As long as you understand, that's good. But as long as you understand why, that's even better. Because the reason why I give you these things every single day is because you're traveling through the mind, right? And a lot of people don't realize that, right? They realize they're in a physical body, but they don't realize what the mind is. It's all levels of travel through its clocking system of space-time. All right. This is the rubber bands from the solar flares, the clocking center. Yep. Okay. Everything is trying to shift or understand what that means. You figure that out, which is really good through your own position. We can go back and change timelines, and we're wonky for X. I could change the past times to heal. Yeah. Well, be cautious on that. Okay. I'm just giving you guys the basic understanding through its clocking center. Now, you can't change the timelines. Okay. So you have to understand what space is through creation. Because if you go through divergence, you're going to change not just you, but you're changing everybody else easily. Right. So this is all about understanding you first before you understand more levels of travel. The faster you go, the more you can do. All right. Okay. Done. Yeah. So the clocking is basically you through travel. It's all about understanding how to travel through the heart. Your heart is a portal. Are you using alpha waves, delta, all positions, two connections of theta and beta? So alpha wave is a different upgrade. Data processing, uplinks and downloads. Same with the theta, betas, and all position locations. It's the alpha channel to your connections. Are you traveling through the delta waves? Are you traveling through the theta waves, the beta waves? Communication to its own clocking system. It's all different timelines of weather. Northwest, south, and east is your diamond core position, right? So you have to learn how to travel through weather, okay? But it's also about understanding how to get the ground system. It's in balance, right? It's clocking system. Same time frequency, right? So it's 11:22 a.m., okay, on the ground system, right? So times that by where I am through line connections, I'm 11 million line centers in 22 locations. That's where I am right now. But I'm in the same timeline, just in different acceleration. Interesting, right? So you have to understand how complicated it is when you travel. So I know exactly where my balance is with my ground is. And this is the true understanding when you're trying to heal somebody, you have to understand where they are. Are they in the past, the present, or the future? It's a psychological adaptation first. Are they lost in the mind? Are they looking in the mirror? Are they stuck under the ground? Are they underwater? This is all psychological, a spiritual connection, guys. This is mind blowing when you understand mind of travel, not just to yourself, but to each other. And that puts you in a better example to their own clocking system, especially if they're in their own divergence of timeline center, the parallels, the paradox, the paradigms, the solar shifts, the polarity shifts, the activation core line conditions, all positions to your navigation. Your navigation center to its line system rotations, all through all levels of your audio track, right track and left track interference line channel. It's all position of you through your heart reactor. How to travel through it is all levels of its flux capacitor. Okay. So true standing. Okay. But step by step, take things slow. Okay. If you go too fast, what are you doing? What are you doing if you go too fast? You're upsetting, right? So this is the true understanding how to travel getting into all levels of you through an atom and what an atom does. So it collects data, right? Goes back in, right? So where did it travel to, right? Like I said, 11:24, a minute has passed, but I'm 11 million line center and 24 communication cycles in position of the now system, which is the same clocking system of grounds, powers, and atmospheres. Now I can change my clocking system to my grounds and powers and atmospheres doesn't put me into 1124. It changes the timeline. Okay. So it gets confusing if you're going into another universal system. We'll go into that tomorrow. Okay. So we're going to go through another clocking center, but we're going to go into another universal system. Okay. So you can understand more of your computer operation line center to its time position. Okay. Which is really, really fascinating. Okay. So knowing that holding the vibration of forgiveness, we all have to help. Yeah. Love from the heart, going back to the moments, the trauma, the emotional pain, started seeing the ripple across life and the event, processing the pain, whatever needed, then letting go. Whatever gets all this crazy on TikTok. General's talking to my daughter, and she said, "Oh yeah, I know he's traveling. He's surviving some contagious." Yeah, but see, the thing is, too, psychic babes, your daughter is the position of an old soul. I see her through generational lights. I know who she is through track system, and she's also connected to the rainbow child. She is a rainbow child. That's why she's connected to her own soul. See, if she can see me travel, she's connected to all levels of timelines. Pretty wild. Now you're probably saying, how is that possible that a kid can do that? It's because they're full of imagination. Imagination. That's all it is. The clocking system of imagination is graphed as system locations to all levels of illustration, guys. Through coloration and lights, position of time, space of time, communications of time, lines of time, graphings of time, correlations of time, panels of time, AI of time, all through perception, right? So it's pretty amazing when you come across these things, right? You notice? Look, it's different now. Before it was a rocket. Now look at it. Look at it now, right? See how it changed? See how it changed? Interesting, right? So it's interesting how, if you get a window and you get light like this, if I open the window, it's going to go through frequency of tone line centers into harmonic resistance. Because wind is like whistling Dixie, like different tones, space. It's wild. Once you add weather, so you have to learn how to travel through your own clocking system of weather, changing its own position. So tomorrow we're going to go through different universal line centers at different time positions into high level of its computer system into simulation. Okay, which is very powerful. All right. So, all right. But see, that's exactly what it is, Psychic Babes. Yeah. Because she knows she's an old soul. And that's how she understands position. I knew that right away. When I healed you through line center, Psychic Babes. You're in a proactive system, but you're in a better communications, high forcing line center to its own clocking system of light, tracks, and interference position. But once you understand the soul direction of you through calculations, you understand more timelines. You have to know all timelines of travel to get any close to all positions of immortality, guys. How to travel through light of all level. You know how much light is to travel through? Do you know how many lights are in space alone? Too complicado. Too complicado. Especially when they're in structure of different graph positions of different patterns. Right? Different light, different color, different time. Same correlations of time, same panels of time, same paradox of time. You have to understand what a panel is. You have to understand what a paradox is, a paradigm, polar shift, polarity shift, activation shift, body shift, calculation shift, vortex shift. It's all position of you through clocking, because that's what light does. Does nothing but travel. But you have to truly, truly understand you on all levels of identification. Okay? So it's pretty wild stuff, isn't it? All right. Is this how we can track the best time for humanity together? That will all come into its own clocking system there, psychic babes. It's all positions to then to all levels of the conscious level, right? So it's already done in the solar graph system, right? The grids are already set up, the clocking systems, humanity in the Heinlein Center. So it's all in the one sequence rotations. It's just humanity doesn't see that yet, but they're coming into a new cycle, which is fantastic, right? So yeah, you're all connected. Yeah. Yeah. And the more you understand your clocking system, you become more connected to each other of solar memory. And you understand why you understand each other more through its timelines. Okay. So it's pretty fantastic when you see these things, right? All right. I'm just going to backphrase here, see if I missed any questions. Well, we got Lawanda here. All right. So when you guys understand more of your clocking center of the ground powers, the amber locations, if you understand nature more, the clocking center of this position of the sun and the moon will understand you through magnetic force, right? Because it's all about balancing the mind when you travel. Okay. All right. So I got caught up in all that. I'm going to head over to TikTok. You guys have any questions or comments? Let me know. Adios.